Santham Academy. Welcome to Digital Kaksha. To get updates on new videos, click the subscribe button and the bell icon.
Hello students, a very good morning to all of you. So, in the last class we have discussed about the first sub-event of pre-fertilization events, that is gametogenesis. We have discussed about how the male gametophyte, the male gamete, and how the female gametophyte and the female gametes are being formed. We have discussed about the two processes, microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis, how the formation of embryo sac have occurred. All these things we have discussed in the last class. Now in this class we will be moving to the next step, that is gamete transfer. Gamete transfer is a very important event, as because of this event only the two gametes, they are able to come near to each other and fuse with each other for the formation of the zygote. So, in case of plants, the gamete transfer, it occurs by the process of pollination. In earlier classes also, you all must have studied about the pollination process. So, first we will define pollination. Pollination is the process by which the transfer of the pollen grains occur from the anther to the stigma with or without the help of a pollinating agent. So, this process of transfer of gamete is called as pollination. Once again I will define the term pollination. Pollination is the process by which the transfer of the male gamete, that is the male gamete is being carried by the pollen grains. Okay? So, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma with or without the help of a pollinating agent, that is called as pollination. Now, the pollination may be of two types. Number one is self-pollination and number two is cross-pollination. So, two pollinations are there, self-pollination and cross-pollination. So, as the name indicates, self-pollination. Self-pollination simply means that the plant remains the same. The pollination occurs within the same plant. It can be within the same flower or it can be between two flowers of the same plant. So, self-pollination means whenever the transfer of pollen grains occur between the flowers of the same plant or within the same flower, then that is called as self-pollination. And cross-pollination? Cross-pollination means that here the plants will be different but the species will be same. So, what is cross-pollination? Cross-pollination is the process by which the transfer of pollen grains will occur between the anther and stigma of two different plants with the species remaining the same. Okay? So, that is self-pollination and cross-pollination. Now, we will move to the types of self-pollination. Self-pollination is of two types. Number one, autogamy and number two, geitonogamy. Autogamy. Auto means self. Self means here the flower remains the same. The anther which produce the pollen grains, that pollen grains will fall on the stigma of the same flower. So, that is called as autogamy. Okay, auto means self, gamy means marriage. Okay, so self marriage means that the transfer of pollen grains will occur from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. Okay, so that is called as autogamy. Now, second type of self-pollination is geitonogamy. Geitono means neighbor, gamy means marriage. It means that the pollination will occur between two flowers of the same plant. Means the pollen grains from one flower will land on the stigma of another flower of the same plant. So this is called as geitonogamy. Okay, so the two types of self-pollination are autogamy and geitonogamy. Now we move to the types of autogamy. There are two types of autogamy. Number one, claistogamy, and number two is chasmogamy or homogamy. So, number one, claistogamy. So, now what is this claistogamy? Claistogamy means that here the self-pollination or the autogamy, it will occur within the same flower, and those flowers, they are closed. As the flowers are closed, there are no chances of the foreign pollen grain to land on the stigma of that flower. So, in claistogamy, the flowers, they are closed. As they are closed, the pollen grains from the anther will fall on the stigma of the same flower. As they are closed, there are no chances of cross-pollination. Such flowers are called as cleistogamous flowers. Okay, so what are cleistogamous flowers? Cleistogamous flowers are closed flowers in which the pollen grains from the anther, they will fall on the stigma of the same flower. So as the flowers are closed, there are no chances of cross-pollination. So the anthers, the stigma, they are not at all exposed. Now, here in claistogamy, as they are closed flowers, no cross-pollination, assured seed sets are being formed. Assured seed sets means that we can assure that the seeds which are being formed, they will be genetically entirely similar to the parent plant. Okay, so assured seed sets means that as there are no chances of cross-pollination, the seeds which are formed as a result of fertilization, those seeds will be genetically similar, and even we can say that the entirely similar to the parent plant. So that is the meaning of assured seed sets. Now we move to the next point. The next point is that as the flowers which are involved in claistogamy, they are closed. So it is not at all required that they may be above the ground. Some species are there in which the flowers, they are above the ground, and in some species the flowers, they are below the soil. Okay, so as the flowers, they are below the soil itself, the fertilization will take place, the formation of fruit and seeds will also take place. So that process is called as geocarpy. Geo means soil, carpy means formation of fruits. Okay, so what is this geocarpy? The cleistogamous flowers have got the property that they can form the fruits within the soil. Why within the soil or below the soil? Because as the flowers, they are closed, they are not at all dependent on cross-pollination. So here the flowers, they remain under the surface of the soil, and there only fertilization and formation of fruits take place. So this formation of fruits inside the soil, that is called as geocarpy. Okay, so some of the plant species bear flowers above the soil also. Okay, so both cases are there. Some species can have flowers below the soil, some can have flowers above the soil also. Now, example of this type of self-pollination, that is cleistogamy, is Camelina and Oxalis. Okay, example is Camelina and Oxalis. Now we will discuss the Chasmogamy. Cleistogamy we have discussed. Now we will discuss the Chasmogamy. Chasmogamy, also known as homogamy. Okay, here the flowers, they are open. As the flowers, they are open means their stamens and stigma, they are well exposed. Okay, the stamens and stigma will be well exposed as the flowers, they are open. Now the second thing is that they are open, but the stigma and the anther, they lie very close to each other, so as to assure self-pollination. Okay, so the anther and the style, they are in such a position that the pollen grains will directly fall on the stigma. For example, in some species, the style grows and reaches and touches the anther, so that when the anther matures and the pollen grains, they will directly fall on the stigma. Second thing is that the style, it is present, the style and stigma, they are present just below the anther. As they are present just below the anther, directly the pollen grains will fall on the stigma. In this way, they assure the self-pollination process. Now here, there are chances of cross-pollination. The plants try and go for the self-pollination, but as the anthers and stigma, they are exposed, they are open flowers, there are little chances of cross-pollination. So here, there are chances of variations also. The example of this type of plant is gardenia. Now, one example is there which shows cleistogamy and chasmogamy both, that is Camelina. This Camelina species bears cleistogamous flowers as well as chasmogamous flowers, but their locations are different. Okay, so how this Camelina, they bear the cleistogamous flowers below the ground and they bear the chasmogamous flowers above the ground. Okay, so here in Camelina, both type of flowers are present. Now we will move to the next type of self-fertilization, that is geitonogamy. Geitonogamy means neighbor marriage. Neighbor marriage simply means that the pollination will occur between two flowers of the same plant. Okay, so the pollen grains of one flower may land on the pollen on the stigma of the another flower on the same plant. Okay, so that is geitonogamy. Now here the geitonogamy, as the flowers, they belong to the same plant, there are no chances of variation, and the offsprings, or we can say the next generation, will be entirely same to the parent plant, as the plant remains the same, only the flowers, they are different. So there are no chances of variations in the next generation, the plants, they remain the same. Okay, so here we can say that this geitonogamy is functionally cross-pollination, but genetically it is self-pollination or autogamy. Okay, so have you understood this point? I think you must have understood this point. I have told this, that geitonogamy is functionally cross-pollination. Why? Because cross-pollination is occurring between two flowers of the same plant, but genetically it is self-pollination, or it is autogamy. Why it is autogamy? Because both the flowers, they belong to the same plant. Okay, so that was about autogamy and geitonogamy. Now we will move towards the next type of pollination, that is cross-pollination. The other term for cross-pollination is xenogamy. Xeno simply means stranger. Gamy means marriage. So stranger marriage. So by this also you can make out that the pollination will occur between two different plants, means two different flowers born on two different plants but of the same species. Okay, so this type of pollination is called as cross pollination or xenogamy. Okay, so xenogamy means the pollination will occur between two flowers born on two different plants, so that but the species should be same. Okay, now here there are full chances of variations. Why? Because the plants, they are entirely different. The species, they remain the same but the plants are different, so there are chances of variations. Okay, so there are chances of variations. So this was about the process of gamete transfer in the flowering plants, that is pollination, which can be by self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination, that is autogamy and geitonogamy. Autogamy, two types, claistogamy and chasmogamy. Geitonogamy is there, that is also a type of self-pollination. Cross-pollination or xenogamy. So here we have discussed about the pollination process. Now we will be discussing the agents of pollination. I have already told you that the pollination may occur with or without the help of agents. Now there are different agents which help the pollination process to occur. So we will be discussing about those agents. The agents of pollination, two types of agents are there: abiotic agents and biotic agents. You know the meaning of both type. In earlier classes also we have studied abiotic agents means the non-living agents, okay, and the biotic means the living agents. So the abiotic agents which help in the pollination process, they are the wind and water, okay. So the pollination by wind is called as anemophily, and the pollination by water, that is called as hydrophily. So pollination by wind is called as anemophily, and pollination by water is called as hydrophily. So these are the two types of abiotic agents which help in the dispersal of pollen grains or which help in the pollination process. Now we move to the biotic agents. The biotic agents include animals, okay, including human beings also. So the pollination by animals, that is called as zoophily. The pollination by animals is called as zoophily. So the living agents which help in the pollination, they are mainly animals, and this type of pollination is called as zoophily. Now the animals, different category of animals are there which help in the pollination process. Some of the categories I have taken, like reptiles are there which help in pollination, insects are there, birds are there, mammals are there, including the human beings. So here in this class we will be discussing about three types of pollinating agents. Number one is anemophily, number two is hydrophily, and number third we will be taking, that is the insects. So the pollination by insects is called as entomophily. The pollination by insects is known as entomophily. Okay, and you know that human beings, they also act as the pollinating agents. So the pollination by human beings is called as anthrophily. Okay, the pollination by human beings is called as anthrophily. So this was about the pollinating agents, and we will be taking these pollinating agents in detail in the next class. So in this class we have discussed about the gamete transfer. The gamete transfer occurs by the pollination process. Pollination, the types we have discussed, that is self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination, two types, autogamy and geitonogamy. Cross-pollination is also called as xenogamy. Now in autogamy, we have discussed about the claistogamy and the chasmogamy. And we have, after that, we have discussed about the agents of pollination, means the living or non-living agents which help in the pollination process. Okay, I hope the topic is clear to all of you. In the next class, we will be dealing the three pollinating agents or the three types of adaptations in plants by which they can go for the different pollination types. Okay, so we will be discussing the adaptations for anemophily, for hydrophily and for entomophily in the next class. Thank you so much and take care.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more.